A tetrad manager mimes editing. Zappa did I would say this, Zappa was going to do every kind of music. He wanted to be in every room, like McLuhan got himself photographed in every department at the university, right? So he's going to be comprehensive, he's going to be everywhere. He had to do the classical thing as part of things to do, but it would not lead anywhere. Zappa was working with the fact that acoustic space was obsolete. The sphere of acoustic space is obsolete. So he showed every move, and you might think, oh, he didn't get into the classical thing, he didn't do it. Well, there was nowhere to go there. He described how stupid it was all the time he was doing it. And you'd say, why would he spend $1,000 to get all the stuff written up and get some orchestra to do it, and they wouldn't even play it right? He wanted to include that whole style of music, because he was going to do every kind. A tetrad manager mimes editing. So you're saying that he was trying to get there and didn't make it? There was no classical world there to make it. And all it required was him to enter it, make a token effort, have the conceptual continuity, and move back to jazz or to some other area. He was jumping around, and he was showing the obsolescence of even being a composer, or the obsolescence of being a specialist. A tetrad manager mimes editing. He got an award in '92 over in Strasbourg, the festival just before Cage died, one of the last where Yellow Shark was done. He got awards, but he didn't. He'd do that on Wednesday. On Thursday, he'd be there doo-wopping with Roy Estrada in there, and then over with George Duke doing the jazz on Friday, and then with what's his name, Johnny Guitar Watson on Saturday. He's doing whatever he wanted. He's totally ionic. Just do whatever he wanted to do. A tetrad manager mimes editing. He invented the processual approach. He wasn't going to, in the processual thing was he'd use whatever new technology was happening so he could make unique sounds, and he could enter in what seemed to be the jazz world, stun them with what he made, then head over to the classical world, then go into the pop world with, Valley Girl or something. All the time, just creating temporary sculptures, like concept art or something. A tetrad manager mimes editing.
Okay, well, hold on. The thing about Zappa that Bob just made a good point is that he kept working with the latest, moving on, changing technologies. He's always been on the edge, and because of that, he would be using technologies that would allow him to either analog or digitally do more than it would take, than 10 men could do with
Then Ornette Coleman just stays with some conceptual harmonic thing, and Frank is over there making movies. He was using all the media like a tetrad manager. Yeah. A tetrad manager mimes editing.
Not only that, but if you compare it, let's compare it to Ornette Coleman. In order for Ornette Coleman to play more music that's more mind-blowing, he would have to increase his chops. Like, he would have to get better and better and faster, right? For Zappa to do something that would blow him away, all he would have to do is add more tracks to it and maybe play some of it sped up and maybe in a different time signature, which he could do using technology in editing, not necessarily in performance chops.
He was showing the obsolescence of analog music. He was showing the virtual cancellation. What's that statement on Worlds for Money? This is not electronically something music. This is music electronically processed or something. That's an important statement.
Yeah.
The tetrad manager mimes editing.
And he was known as being primarily an amazing editor. Whether it was in film or in music, his editing.
And editing was the real art form. That's television, that's Hollywood. All the entertainment media was editing. And he mimes that. Tetrad manager mimes editing.
And then when you get to Civilization Phase 3, it's the Wizard of Oz, and he's pulling the curtain back to reveal the tools he's been using. Because he's laying, here's the one machine that encompasses everything I've done through my whole career.
A tetrad manager mimes editing.
And I'm going to show you what I can do with it. And it's like, it's Menippean satire with the technologies he used.
Well, with Civilization Phase 3, was that all original stuff that he did in the studio, or was he splicing in bits and pieces of
There's bits and pieces from everything.
He always did that, Scott. Ever since he used to say in the late '60s, I think in the Miles interview, I'll be looking through my suitcase or trunk, and I'll find something I did in '62 up at Paul Buff's studio, Cucamonga, and I said, oh, I can use this sucker right now. He was always ransacking his own garbage and leftovers. He said he was a memorabilia freak. He saved everything. So he was always refining fragments that he said, oh, I can fit that in here. That was his main process. And Tetrad Manager mimes editing.
And he was known as being primarily an amazing editor. Whether it was in film or in music, his editing.
And editing was the real art form. That's television, that's Hollywood. All the entertainment media was editing. And he mimed that. Tetrad Manager mimes editing.